Listen close, folks, because what you are about to hear is not only amazing, but it is all true. Now I'm bringing you the latest from JoJo Biden. This isn't as far as I can tell quickie, so I'm going to try to sum it up. First of all, Joe Biden is probably the second funniest politician I've ever come across. He might be the first. Definitely Trump he's on some next level meme material. But some of the memes I've made about Joe and just his creepy persona, his snoozling of women and little children. I don't even know what to say about it. The fact that we even entertain these things as a nation that just shows you how many NPCs are roaming around. So Kanye West, one of the best rappers ever, gave us a wonderful quote to let us know they can't tell him what to do. I will not be told who I'm gonna vote on because of my color. I believe that. Now, you know, if you're watching this channel, and I know that he won't be told who he's gonna vote on because he is a Project Monarch trauma-based mind control victim. Since the time he was knee-high to a grasshopper, a handler has trained him, told him when to go to the restroom, much less who to vote on. That's another thing, vote on. Well, you vote on who you vote on because it's a C-lection, not an election. None of the people anywhere in the world get to choose who they vote on. They just pick what they think is the lesser of two evils. Who you're going to vote for? You, Kanye. You don't get to choose that because you don't get to choose what you eat for dinner, buddy.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man.
Joe Biden says, "You ain't black." Response to that, Senator?
Wow. That is the most arrogant, condescending comment I've heard in a very long time, and that's saying something. The man who sponsored and led the charge on the 1990s crime bill that locked up more African-American males than any other piece of legislation, and President Trump comes along and through his criminal justice reform corrects the absolute mistakes made by Joe Biden. For him to make such an arrogant, ridiculous comment to, if you think about the numbers, 1.3 million African Americans voted for Trump. He's saying to 1.3 million African Americans that you're not black? Who in the heck does he think he is? That is the most arrogant, outrageous comment I've heard in a very long time. And I take offense to that.
You got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
And the other thing we should do is we should challenge these students. We should challenge students in these schools to have advanced placement programs in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids, wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it, but think how we think about it.
You go, Joe. You go, homie. I couldn't have said it better myself. If you have trouble figuring out if you want to vote for me or Trump, you ain't black. Now, first thing I want to bring up is, who is Joe Biden to comment on the blackness, the integrity of somebody's blackness? You know, when I want to know if somebody's black or not, what I do is I defer to Joe Biden. I'm like, what does Joe Biden think about this guy? Does he think that he's really black? Because if he doesn't, he ain't black. He ain't black. Secondarily, why is this happening? Why is he saying this? Some folks would say he's got dementia. He's got Alzheimer's and he's going crazy. Maybe, I would say, and it's as far as I can tell, but I do think that I'm correct on this one. This is a Tavistock playbook. It's an exercise in cultural psychology manipulation, guys. And it seems like it's going to work. Seems like it is going to work just fine. They would not put Joe Biden or anybody else up on the podium to be the Democratic candidate if they had dementia. Considering the stuff that Joe Biden has provably been involved in, and considering the stuff that abductive logic can tell anyone who's thinking with, 20% of their brain, that he's definitely been involved in regarding, adrenochrome and, I don't know, probably eating babies. This is no accident. They wouldn't put somebody up there who could just accidentally just have a dementia episode and blow the whistle on some insider secrets. No, this is inside baseball. I think what's going on here is they are trying to incite a riot. They're trying to get black people and they're trying to get white people. They're trying to get the left and the right to look even more so at each other and go, you guys are the bad guys. See what Joe Biden said about us? We're the black people who vote for Trump. And he's saying we aren't black? No, the same people who give Trump his orders are giving JoJo Biden his orders. And they're saying you aren't black, but that's really not what they're saying. They're saying, look at the people across the hall from you and get angry with them. Get mad. Now, that's what you guys need to focus on. Not the real bad guys. Because the real bad guys are groups like the Jesuits, people who have historically been involved in manipulating politics and interfering with the machinations of social change. And more so than that, focus on the spirit realm, because those guys, I'll tell you what, they may or may not be human, but they take their orders from some kind of intelligence. I call it the Satan archetype. That is definitely not human. It's some kind of psychic autonomous force or entity. And there's no way that they're just pulling this stuff out of their ass or their heart. That's not how this works. Charlemagne, the guy who was interviewing Joe Biden at the very start, I call him Shillamaine. I saw him speaking about the flat earth when Mad Mike died. You guys remember Mad Mike? He was trying to prove that the earth was flat by going up to like 5,000 feet in a chintzy little homemade rocket. Basically, he equated all of the people that do painstaking research and use deductive logic to show that it seems that the earth is flat. It really looks like that as far as true scientific method research can tell. He just lumped us all in with him. And you saw he had the stock ticker running at the bottom of his show. I mean, this guy he's not speaking for black people either. And that senator, look at his nice little pretty suit. Look at how wonderfully he represented the black community when he said, I am offended. This is outrageous. Dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There is no way that if anybody ain't black, it's you, bro. It's not some political sides that are determining who's a part of the black community and who's servicing their culture and who is black. It is whether or not you buy into this bullshit narrative and whether or not you're willing to get on the goddamn microphone and say, look, guys, none of these people are on your side. Trump, the guy I'm behind, he's not on your side. Biden, he's not on your side. So that guy, he don't know what he's talking about, and neither does JoJo, and neither does Shilamaine. So this is what I suggest. Instead of getting emotionally involved in this, instead of getting caught up in what Tavistock wants you to do and staring across the aisle and going, oh, gosh darn those Democrats, they put that guy up there and he's saying all this nonsense. Or looking at the Republicans and saying, I don't even know what you'd say. Because I don't watch politics. I just watch it when it's this funny. I encourage you to make your own life better. Go out and plant a garden. Go out and walk your dog. Spend time with your family. Eat dinner with your family. Show love to those in your local community who you can foster a positive change in and who can foster a positive change in you. They want us to get mad. They want us to get angry at anybody but them because they are doing the most reprehensible things on the face of the flat earth. So that's my 2 cents, folks. You can spend it how you want.